Welcome aboard Tristan and Tommy's Runaway Railway. For your safety, please remain seated and enjoy the show.
Welcome to Please Remain Seated, a theme park podcast hosted by two theme park enthusiasts that work for the industry in the theme park capital of the world, Orlando, Florida. On this show, we discuss various theme park news, reviews, and a whole lot more. We got a nice theme park Karen coming for you today. Today in our news, we are going to be talking about the Disney and Six Flags quarterly reports, very different than both of them. We're going to get into that. Cedar Fair had a bunch of major updates. We're going to talk about some of the highlights and something else returning to Disney World as well. Things are still returning, but we got a big update on something. I'm going to be reviewing Pantheon at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Yeah, let's jump into it. Tristan, how you doing?
Doing good. Good to be back. I know we just did an episode a couple weeks ago, but before that was a long hiatus, so I still feel like
Yeah.
I'm getting my juices back. But it's good to be back.
Yeah, yeah, because I had my vacation where I did my little theme park trip where I'll be reviewing one of those roller coasters.
Let's hop
So
into it.
let's hop into the news. All right, so first report, we're going to go into some business news. I feel like we mainly discuss, things on the guest experience side. We don't really discuss the business side of things. So Disney's quarterly report, their revenue is up 70% from last year, but most importantly, it is up from 2019. And from 2019, per guest spending is up 40%. So very, very good news for Disney. Of course, a lot of this probably has to do with Genie Plus that has added into it. Other price increases. So Tristan, I know you had some thoughts on the earnings report.
Yeah, I do. This is actually I researched this a lot the other day. I was looking into it for a while. So we're benchmarking this against 2019, which everyone's thinking, oh, okay, so pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Right. So this must be a huge improvement. But here's what old Tristan thought of, and this is pretty smart.
Okay.
The quarter three goes, I think it's April, May, and June, or maybe it's May, June, July. Either way, I think it's May, June, and July. Is quarter three, like Disney's fiscal third quarter.
Okay.
So that time in 2019 was right before Galaxy's Edge was opening.
Okay.
And Epcot Forever was opening. And then Remy's Ratatouille Adventure was supposed to be opening like spring of 2020 originally, or something like that. So my theory here is that was actually kind of a dead time in Disney, at least for Walt Disney World, because I think a lot of people were waiting to come until after Galaxy's Edge and after Epcot Forever, and maybe even until Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. That's my theory, because I found an article from 2019 saying that Disney's 2019 quarter three earnings were actually lower than expected.
Interesting. I wonder, do we know if it was any lower than the year before, even the year before that when Pandora opened?
Oh, good question. No, I did not. I didn't go that far back into thinking about it, but I would bet that is why.
Yeah, it could be
so yeah,
lower.
that's all I got there. But I either way, it's still a good step forward for Disney. Like now, this quarter, Disney outperformed by a lot.
Oh yeah,
from what I was reading, like they by leaps and bounds. So despite what people generally say about Genie Plus, and Disney's big cash grab, well, it apparently
it's working. Yeah, it's working big time, especially like, everyone was locked up for 2 years, so everyone's very eager to go out vacations. Disney is one of those destinations. Of course, that didn't work out for the other chain we're going to get into. Did we have anything else to say about Disney before we jump into?
From the same earnings report, they talked about Disney Plus. Now we'll briefly talk about Disney Plus.
Yeah.
The total subscribers of Disney Plus is now 152 million. So they actually increased the subscribers in this last quarter by 14.4 million people. So Disney, of all of Disney's streaming services now combined, they have 221 million subscribers.
Wow.
Which is like astronomical. I don't think it's anything near Netflix. Maybe it is near Netflix. I actually don't know Netflix's numbers, but that's for a streaming service that's only 3 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I've heard that Disney has claimed they have more subscribers, but that's across all the streaming services that Disney owns. So not just Disney Plus, Hulu, etc. Netflix is still the top dog. Like it has more subscribers than Disney Plus, Hulu, etc. But in terms of the things Disney owns, they'll claim they have more than Netflix because of that.
Yeah.
I'm also sure that maybe some of Disney's increase happened because there was like recent talks of Netflix in the news recently of it's kind of having a little bit of a downfall recently. I mean, I'm still subscribed and fine with Netflix, but a lot of people have been talking crap about them and they've lost some subscribers. So that could have helped Disney Plus a little bit. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
we are a theme park, so we're gonna head into Six Flags now, which has not had a good 2022. Their quarter is down from 2021, which yeah. I don't have the exact numbers, but I know I've seen a lot of talk online about the current CEO and the current direction of Six Flags has not been very positive. Supposed reports from people who work for the company have been saying it feels like it's on a downhill right now. I mean, considering that it's 2022 and more people are traveling and less people are going to Six Flags. I know they've increased a lot of prices, and I think he's been trying to want to do a Disney thing where they increase prices so there's less people but better guest experience because there's less people and people are spending more money. But the problem is this is Six Flags, this isn't Disney. He's been wanting to improve the guest experience, and they haven't really Six Flags hasn't really done anything to improve the guest experience in any way. Now, I mean, maybe some people who have been to the parks have enjoyed there not being crowds, but Six Flags is supposed to be very cheap. Supposedly, he says that the next investments they want to make, they want them to cater towards families and not build any roller coasters in the next 3 years, which doesn't make any sense. I might enjoy lower crowds at Six Flags the next couple of years, potentially if I can make my way out to one. Tristan, what are your thoughts on Six Flags right now?
I am not surprised in the slightest. Six Flags has always been pretty subpar in terms of quality.
Yeah.
I have low standards, and I
Yeah.
grew up going to Six Flags in Illinois, Six Flags Great America,
Yeah.
and so I have fond memories of it. I actually went there 4 years ago and really enjoyed it. But that's the thing. Their thing is big roller coasters.
Yeah,
That's their
exactly.
differentiator. What are they doing?
It's like I've never been disappointed at a Six Flags park, but that's because I know exactly what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm going for a lower quality park for roller coasters, not the best food, just paying a relatively cheap fee to ride some good roller coasters. Now, granted, the only Six Flags parks I have been to so far were Fiesta Texas and Over Georgia, which have some pretty good atmosphere, especially Fiesta Texas for a Six Flags park. But like still, they know your audience. Because like I actually thought that Six Flags might have been going in a good direction. I know that they've been kind of doing hokey pokey with their CEOs. Like the last CEO left sometime late last year, and that's when this new one came in that a lot of people are hating. I know he also changed the whole membership plan because like you used to be able to do like similar to Cedar Fair, get one pass that works at every Six Flags park. But now there's like one that works at Magic Mountain and another one that works at like the Texas one in Georgia. One like just not made it more complicated for no reason.
Yeah, yeah, and this kind of segues into something I know we're going to bring up here about Six Flags, but like my experiences there have never been like in terms of customer service or just the other people that are there. It hasn't been that great. It's really just for the big rides. That's like that's it. Everything else is pretty trashy. But
well, before we get to that bullet point, you said the guests. Yeah, I remember when I went to Over Georgia, like I saw like many people like line jumping and things like that, which I wasn't gonna let that bother me. I'm like, I'm at Six Flags and it's not even that crowded. I don't care if three people want to like jump the stanchions or whatever. But one of the quotes from the CEO Salim, we haven't even said his name. I've just been like the new CEO, whatever. He said that. Hold on, where's that quote that we said? That they've become a daycare for teenagers.
Yeah. I from my experiences there, I 100% agree. That's exactly what it is. It's a bunch of teenagers acting like animals, just being loud and obnoxious, stuff that happens at bigger theme parks.
Yeah.
To an extent, but
True.
like
so I mean low key Cedar Fair is a similar way, but like, they have a nicer reputation. It's like they have less parks, but like they have a better reputation overall. Like I remember when I went to Carowinds earlier this year, when I was in line at Fury, like we were like ahead of line, but the people on the switchback next to us, like these teenagers, were like, "Hey, is it cool if we cut in front of you, but then you guys cut in front of us?" And then my friend's like, "What did they just ask?" And I'm like, "I think they want to cut everybody behind us." Then they just like made like a O face, like, "Oh, never mind, sorry." Just stupid, dumb teenage crap. Um, so, anyways,
No, nothing surprising out of the Six Flags news.
yeah, it's like I'm hoping they could stay afloat. I know, despite their financial situation at the moment, like I'm hoping they can make up for it because despite how much crap we're talking, like I do enjoy going to those parks, but for the specific reason that I go to them.
I'm going to be in Illinois here in like 3 weeks. I'm going to be pretty close to Six Flags Great America. I don't know if I'm going to make a trip there. I'd love to.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be open at that time. Well, maybe on the weekend, potentially in September.
I don't know. I think they stay open because they do a Halloween
Okay.
fright scare fest,
Yeah.
horror
You know,
nights.
we should
Mickey.
we should go to that Six Flags together.
No.
No? Okay. Okay.
Next.
Next. All right, so we got a lot of Cedar Fair updates for things that are coming next summer. Most of them are kind of improving guest experience that Six Flags claim they're doing. Probably the biggest attraction that was announced that's going to open is going to be at Worlds of Fun, and oh my god, I don't even remember which state it's in. It's in one of the southern states, but the roller coaster they're opening is Zambezi Zinger, and it's going to be a wooden roller coaster by GCI with a spiral lift hill. I don't even know if there's ever been a wooden roller coaster with a spiral lift hill. It looks really cool. I think it's going to be a wonderful addition. I think it's like in the same state or close enough to Silver Dollar City, so I might do a double trip sometime next year after that ride opens up. Tristan, have you seen any pictures or videos of the concept for Zambezi Zinger?
Oh,
No. Fantastic. Well, it looks like a cool ride. Looking forward to Worlds of Fun. Carowinds in my home state, they're going to be having a new themed land, Aeronautica. It's going to be near the current Afterburn roller coaster. I think they're gonna do a little retheming on that roller coaster and then make a whole new themed land with 4 new flat rides. It's gonna be where Plants vs Zombie is right now. That's getting demolished, and it's also gonna have a new restaurant. The concept art looks really cool. Of course, North Carolina has that history with air travel and stuff, so that ties into Carolina history. So that'll be pretty cool. Tristan, do you have any thoughts on Aeronautica?
do you remember, Tommy? I asked you a theoretical question once. It was like, do you know why those two brothers built the airplane?
To get out of North Carolina.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
As for
Yeah.
your theme park question, no, I don't know. I don't care.
You don't care. Awesome. Oh, well, yeah. So yeah, see, my opinion on Carowinds is that its top 4 roller coasters, which includes Afterburn, are very good, but the park itself is very lacking in atmosphere. So I think this is, a baby step towards that, and hopefully in the next 10 years, like honestly, it could be a top tier park if they just make the atmosphere in the park better. Um, this is a little step towards that. Maybe they'll improve. Uh, and then then the final piece of Cedar Fair news, Cedar Point announced a new boardwalk area around where Wicked Twister used to be. They're going to be opening a new Grand Pavilion, which is kind of based off of an old Grand Pavilion it used to have. It's going to be 2 stories. It's going to have unique eats that aren't in the rest of the park. They're also going to have a beachside bar, and the boardwalk is also going to feature a brand new Wild Mouse coaster. Something that's notable, as we all know, Top Thrill Dragster has been down. Some people have been a little nervous about the future of it. When they announced the Wild Mouse coaster, they said it was going to be the 18th roller coaster in the park. So that kind of sounds like a promising future for Top Thrill Dragster, hopefully. And also the new Grand Pavilion looks really nice itself. Tristan, do you have any thoughts? You're going to go to Cedar Point to go to the Grand Pavilion and new Wild Mouse coaster?
Until they build a runway in Cedar Point, I'm not traveling to there because I'd have to go through Ohio. But
A runway.
like to land an airplane,
Okay, I got you.
so I don't have to see the rest of Ohio.
That is valid. Um, Now, when they announced the Grand Pavilion, I actually like the idea of it. Um, we're in Disney, so we like to eat food at Disney, and a lot of other parks aren't known for food. But Cedar Fair has been trying to make improvements with their food, which is really awesome. I also like the idea of the beachside bar. My only concern with it is, as much as I'm going to want to drink at that bar, Cedar Point is a very big park and has lots of roller coasters. So getting dehydrated and not feeling good can happen despite having all that fun, and drinking won't help that. So if I want to enjoy that bar, I'm gonna have to plan my trip around it somehow.
Somehow. Yeah,
So
I don't know how.
you don't know how?
I don't know how you're gonna do that. You'd have to have
Um,
like a whole drinking day. You'd have to add an extra
may-
day onto your trip to just sit at a
Maybe,
bar, or else you're gonna screw yourself over by
or
riding
maybe I just
Top Thrill Dragster.
yeah, if it opens,
Yeah.
hopefully. I mean, since I've been to the park, I at least know kind of what to expect and what I'd want to do. Like, I'm not rushing to get all the credits. Like, I've done them all, like except for Top Thrill Dragster, um, and the Red Side of Gemini.
Yeah.
But anyway, um, and our last piece of Disney news is the Behind the Seeds tour in the Land Pavilion for Living with the Land is returning October 2nd. Of course, that tour you can explore the greenhouses, get to learn all about that fun stuff. I always wanted to do it, and I'll finally get a chance to do it. You can start booking the tours now too. Tristan, have you ever done Behind the Seeds?
This might be the first thing on this podcast that I've done and you haven't.
Oh wow.
I have
Well,
done it.
I haven't been to your Six Flags park though.
Ah, true, true. But I also didn't pay a shred of attention, nor do I care about roller coasters. So I really wasn't taking notes. So
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you anything about. You know more about those roller coasters than I do, Tommy. But no, Behind the
uh,
Scenes tour is
yeah.
awesome. Highly recommend it. You go down there in the Land Pavilion right by the entrance of Soarin', and you can sign up for it there. There's a little table, assuming they do it the same way they did before. And it is awesome. Like it's a pretty lengthy tour, but it's like in a good way. And you really do get to go walk through all the greenhouses and see everything. And it's pretty interactive at times. Highly recommend it. Living with the Land is arguably the best ride that's ever been created for a theme park. So it's
Honestly, yeah.
definitely worth doing. Check it out, folks.
Honestly, it was my favorite ride at Epcot until Cosmic Rewind opened. And honestly, like it's still right up there. It is such a great ride, and I can't wait to do Behind the Seeds.
Can we, because I don't know if we have enough to fill 30 minutes here, Tommy, can we
Mhm.
add a little segment in right now?
Absolutely.
Favorite tours you've done uh, for
Ooh,
Disney?
ooh,
If
that
you've done any, or if you haven't, you could just say, "Oh, well, I'd like to do this one."
um I haven't done too many tours. I don't know if I have, but the one that did do, which was amazing, was a backstage tour for Fantasmic.
Hmm.
That was awesome.
Yep. Yep.
Tristan, how about you?
I've scored one of those as well. I would say that's a close number two, possibly tied for number one, but it's not because once I tell you what number one is, you'll see. My number one was the Walk-in Waltz Disneyland
Yeah,
Footsteps tour.
that's number one.
Oh
That's
my
gotta be
God.
number one.
It's a 3 hour walking tour. As a Disney history guy, every
Hmm.
minute of it was amazing. And then, spoiler, you end it by going into Walt's apartment
Yeah,
on Main Street. And that is
that's really cool.
probably the coolest thing I've ever done.
Yeah,
But I've also done a Fantasmic.
yeah.
And I've been
Hmm.
dying to do that forever because that was one of the things that got my attention so much growing up was like, how does Fantasmic work? I don't
Yeah, it's
understand
so
how
cool.
like there's all these effects. How do they all work? So when I finally got to do
Yeah,
it, I think that was about a 2 hour tour, and that was
yeah. And like
just
going in the
amazing.
mountain, and I really loved going on Steamboat Willie's boat and spinning his wheel.
Yep.
Like someone that I was on the tour with was like, "You're having way too much fun." I'm like, "Yeah, this is awesome."
Yeah, I also really enjoyed that. Was just the coolest thing to get to do that. And then learning about how some of their um what do they call, like if something goes wrong, what their backup plan is. Like if something goes
Yeah,
wrong on stage, then they
they
can
had.
raise the fountains to cover it up.
Yeah, the fact that they had like they have so much backup plans.
Uh-huh.
Like they have like an encyclopedia of backup plans. It's insane.
The only other tour I'd like to do would be the steam train tour.
That would
Um,
be cool.
when the trains are running normally again, whenever that ends up being, probably like
Hmm.
2080 or something. But because I think you get to ride a train from Fantasyland to the Roundhouse or something like that.
Ooh,
I don't remember the details, but then you get to see the Roundhouse where they keep all the trains. Love to do that. Disneyland's is even better from what I've heard.
oh wow.
So
Yeah, I would be honestly almost any Disney dark ride. I would be down to do a backstage tour for. Like, it would be very cool to see those attractions in a different light.
Yes.
Yes.
I should have saved that for your Pantheon thing because I don't
Ha!
know
Now,
anything
now,
about
now
that.
you have to say a different word.
Okay. All right.
Fantastic. Yeah. So Pantheon is a brand new for 2022 Intamin multi-launch roller coaster at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. It is the same type of track and trains as Velocicoaster here in Florida. So I'll be comparing it a lot to that. Now, Pantheon was supposed to open up in the year 2020 along with Iron Gwazi, Icebreaker, all the other Seas rides that didn't open that year that got delayed to this year. So like I kind of noticed, a couple differences that way. Like the Pantheon trains were only 5 cars long, where the Velocicoaster ones are 6 cars long. And also the seats on Pantheon's trains are a little higher up. So like, when you're sitting on the Velocicoaster train, your feet are kind of dangling and you feel the airtime a little bit more because of that, where the Pantheons are a little bit lower to the ground. Stat wise, it has a faster launch and a taller top hat. It also has a forward and backward section, kind of similar to Icebreaker in a way, except it's a lot taller. The vertical spike is a lot taller, and the back and forth airtime is a lot more. Like the backwards launch was absolutely insane. That might have been that, the stall, and like probably like this wave turn towards the end of the ride were probably highlights for me. As some of y'all know, Velocicoaster is our favorite roller coaster here on this podcast for its smoothness, airtime, and theming, and just the overall incredible ride experience. Pantheon, the roller coaster itself, is really awesome, but it does lose quite a bit of points for me because it does lack theming, and I know it's not Disney or Universal, but Busch Gardens does do pretty well with theming most of the time, and Pantheon is just placed in the middle of a field. Like they could have done so much more with it. And then also the operations of the ride just were not nearly as efficient as Velocicoaster. Velocicoaster is a people eater. This honestly felt like a Six Flags ride. We're talking about Six Flags way too much this episode. But like, I mean, a big part of its bad operations is because unlike Velocicoaster, where you have double-sided lockers and you can't bring anything to the station, Pantheon has bins at the station for you to put your items in. And I know that's, a convenient free option for people, but honestly, I much prefer the double-sided lockers, or honestly even being forced to pay for things, because it's much safer and it makes the rides much more efficient. Like I don't care if I get upcharged if the ride is going to be more efficient and my items are safe. And I know some people like in the line are saying, well, it's a newer ride. It's been open since March. Like Velocicoaster was efficient right away. Pantheon, you don't have an excuse. Well, yeah, but either way, it is still an amazing roller coaster. I cannot wait to eventually go back to re-ride it. I only got to ride it one time. Got a back row ride too, similar to Velocicoaster. Very, very fun airtime. It only had 2 inversions, one right out of the station with like kind of a later launch, but it was still pretty cool. And then a really nice long stall, kind of similar to Velocicoasters. Tristan, do you know anything about Pantheon? And do you think you're gonna ride it someday?
Pull on the yellow strap. No, I don't know if I will. I stole your line. That's what
Yeah.
you say at the end. I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
if I. What theme park is this at again? I was thinking
Busch
about
Garden,
pancakes.
Busch Gardens, Williamsburg in Virginia.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not going to be there any time in my life. But it sounds great. Your thing about you mentioned we're going to switch this to Velocicoaster now. I've always I was amazed at how quickly Velocicoaster loads people.
Yeah.
The wait time for that ride is like it's long, but it's not relatively long. It's
Yeah,
relatively short.
like you're moving.
Yeah,
Like you're not like, oh my god, when am I gonna get on this ride?
that
It's
is
like
an
they're
efficient
very,
ride.
yeah.
Um,
Like I don't think I've been on a ride that's that thrilling, well themed, and efficient.
yeah,
Like it's just absolutely incredible.
and it does seem silly that a ride that you said this Pantheon opened in March.
Yeah, it opened this past March.
This past so 2022, they're still putting those bins on the station just to
That
slow things down.
that surprised me quite a bit. And like I'm wondering if it's like a regional thing, because I went to King's Dominion as well, and just about every ride had the bins, and there actually wasn't a lot of lockers in the park, which actually kind of bugged me because I was going solo. So I'm like, I don't want to leave my phone in this bin because if somebody takes that phone, I'm screwed.
Mhm.
Like there was only one ride where like they force you to put lockers, where they had forced lockers, and that was Twisted Timbers, like in an RMC, like a tiny Steel Vengeance Iron Gwazi type of ride, and that's a new, and I think that might be one of their newer rides, but anyways, so like I don't know if that's like a Virginia thing, but yeah, I feel like a newer ride should know better. I don't know.
I'm out of words. I already said yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you already said yes.
I already said yes.
And also going to Iron Gwazi, Iron Gwazi has pouches underneath the seats to put your phone in.
Mm.
So like even that ride has that. And it does have paid lock, like Pantheon did have paid lockers, but then they also had the bin. So
How
um
secure are these pouches? Because that intrigues me. Are they very
they
secure?
they are
Like,
yeah, because like they're like because the seats are kind of tight in a way, and like the pouch is behind your legs and the zipper is very tight. Like it's a very tight pouch and right there.
huh? Huh.
Tristan, I actually was thinking I do have some my silver pass has some tickets, and I could take you over to Busch Gardens sometime this month if you wanna
This month,
Iron
as in
Gwazi
August,
or September
September,
because
maybe. I can't do
maybe.
anything. I'm going to Vegas in a couple days, and that's going to last until the end of
Oh
August.
right.
And I'll be in Illinois for 7 days in September,
Oh
but
right.
we'll
Well,
see.
we'll figure it out.
We'll see.
I'll get you on Iron Gwazi.
I'll have
We'll get a
my
Tristan.
people contact your people.
Cool. Awesome.
We'll figure it out. But is that all
Amazing.
you have for Panther roller coaster, Tommy? Panther ride?
Uh, yep. Uh, Too long didn't listen. Combination of Velocicoaster and Icebreaker, but it's a bit bigger than both of them, and I like it a lot. I have it ranked number 16 out of 123.
Dang,
Yeah, so it's high up there.
that is high up there.
It
Where's
was a very
Daddy Pig's coaster?
Daddy Pig's coaster is somewhere in the 70s,
It's
which does sound low down, but honestly, like let me go to my list because like honestly anything that's like not over 100 as a roller coaster I really like to
okay.
some degree. Um, let me Daddy Pig, Daddy Pig, Daddy Pig, Daddy Pig, Daddy Pig. Where is Daddy Pig? This is bothering me now. Oh wait, no, Daddy Pig is actually 94.
Yeah, I was. It's in the 70s. Like, there's no way.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't even know anything about it, but I
it's
know.
94. Honestly, like it had solid theming. Like it's a cute ride.
All right, dude. Whatever. We will hop on in then to a very short. Well, usually we call it a
Yeah.
pass holder Karen of the week, but this isn't quite
Yeah.
that.
I
Because this
do have
review,
I do have Daddy Pigs higher than Escape from Gringotts.
Escape from Gringotts is
Universal.
that's not the one that's on the arm, right?
No, that's not a roller coaster.
I don't know what things are, but
Gringotts.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I rode Escape from Gringotts once, and I wasn't
Yeah.
too
It's
impressed by it.
it's like it's like despite how low it is, I don't hate it, but I don't know. Yeah. Anyways,
So this review is
yeah.
actually for Gatorland.
Gatorland. Oh God.
So this is just funny, the fact that someone would take the time to criticize Gatorland, because if you've been to Gatorland, you know
Yeah.
it's not even worth raising
No.
a fuss over. Nobody cares. So here we go. Everything cost extra. The price to get in was high. If you want to feed the gator, dollar sign, dollar sign, dollar sign. If you want to do the zip line, it's $20. Then you have to have closed toe shoes, so they sell those like $14. If you want to feed the animals in the petting zoo, dollar sign, dollar sign. Does
Yeah.
this person think everything's free? Like, first of all, I can tell you to get into Gatorland is not expensive at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why they charge for things like
Yeah. Feeding the gators probably a little pricey, nothing outrageous from what I remember. I've
yeah.
been there once. $20 for the zip line? Are you kidding? That's like
Yeah.
what zip line is cheaper than $20? I don't even know.
Maybe 15. I'm curious about the zip line because I do like me a nice zip line, but I can do a roller coaster at Fun Spot for cheaper. So like, is it better than a roller coaster?
Well, no, I don't think it would be, but I do know that it's I believe from seeing it that you pay one price and you actually get to do a whole bunch of zip lines. There's zip lines over several
Okay.
different gator enclosures. It's not just one. It's not
Okay,
like
in
it's
that
30
case,
seconds.
that might be actually kind of worth it then. That would be
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It's Gatorland's actually a fun time if your expectations are low. You're gonna have a fun time. So I just thought that was funny. Like, what did this person expect from Gatorland?
Kind of like Six Flags.
Exactly.
It-
So that was my Karen. But then I think we might have done a little segment or something like this before where we talk about things we've overheard in the parks.
yeah.
So I kind of lumped this into my creatures of the park. But I was in Epcot the other day, and I was walking past Garden Grill, and somebody
Oh
said,
man.
"Over there's the carousel of eating." The carousel of eating. Is that not like
that
you're
that is
right.
where did they actually think that's what it's called?
I don't know if that was their description of it. There's a big sign right there that
Yeah.
says Garden Grill. I doubt it,
Yeah.
but that was
That-
just the funniest way to describe Garden Grill.
That kind of reminds me of one time when I was in Animal Kingdom. Like I was kind of in front of Dino Land, and they have the playground called the Boneyard, and the front of the park is called Discovery Island. But there was a sign pointing like towards Discovery Island, and these guests were like, "Oh yeah, we can go to Discovery Island like in the playground because that's where you dig up and discover things."
I mean, like this other guy with Garden Grill, they're
Yeah.
not wrong.
They're a little confused, but they have the right spirit.
My best, actually, this is probably my best overheard ever, was also in Animal Kingdom, and someone called "It's tough to be a bug." It's a bug's world,
It's a Bugs.
which is it's tough to be a bug's life, and it's a small world all put together. It's a bug's world.
The things that people say.
I heard someone
My
call Spaceship Earth the AT&T Dome. Someone
family,
go ahead.
like my family, still like they always call Carousel of Progress the Carousel of Life.
That's weird.
Yeah,
I don't know if I get that one.
yeah. I know that they always call it the Carousel of Life for some reason. I don't know. I mean, it sounds kind of nice, I guess, but like progress is the theme, not life.
I don't.
Yeah.
Someone once was talking about Akershus at Epcot.
Okay.
The princess, well, it used to be Princess Dining. I don't know what it's going to be now, but and they called it Oskenhauser.
Jeez.
I don't even know. There's probably more,
That's
but
very weird.
man.
I feel like I mentioned this the last time we had this type of segment, but I was walking by some guests at Epcot once, and without any sense of irony in their voice, I heard they're going to turn Spaceship Earth into a Star Wars roller coaster. Where did you hear that?
Yeah, I don't even know. The only thing I could twist into that was maybe they were thinking of Hyperspace Mountain at Disneyland.
Maybe they were thinking of that. Maybe the time that they projected the Death Star onto Spaceship Earth. But
yeah, that's that.
Hollywood Studios has enough Star Wars. We don't need any more Star Wars.
True that. And on that wise note, Tommy, talk us out.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode of Please Remain Seated. If there's anything theme park related that you want us to talk about, please contact us by any social media, comments, email, whatever. Just let us know. Love you faces. Stay safe.